Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to our September Akashic Gathering. We are here on September the 2nd to hear about the creative energies for the month. And I'm excited to share. I'm excited to see what comes through. Per usual, I always do record, or I always do pull a card or two beforehand just to see what the cards have to say. I use per usual, my Wisdom Keepers inner guidebook, which is based off of the 64 gene keys in the Human Design Gene Keys system. This is by Rosie Aronson. And I like to bring these in because I do have human design knowledge, and I like to share a little bit of that as I do my Akashic Records work. So I did pull for this month the 59 the 59th gene key, the 59th wisdom keeper, and this is Virgo energy, and we are in Virgo season. We just had the 59 transit in the sun about 2 weeks ago. So perfect timing with our current sun energy. So 59 is all about intimacy, it's sexuality, it's sacral energy. So the sacral center is, of course, that life force energy. So it's that sacral energy. In human design, the sacral, if you have a defined sacral, you are here to respond to life. So, responding to what lights us up this month in ways that bring more intimacy with others. This is a tribal energy. It's all about the way that you work with others. It's tribal energy is, providing for the tribe. Because this is the gate of sexuality, that's providing for the tribe through intimacy, through procreation, through sex, through all of that. The shadow in the gene keys is dishonesty. So where are you being dishonest with yourself? Where are you being dishonest with others? How is dishonesty keeping you this month from being able to connect with others in a more aligned and potent way? The gift is intimacy, and the shadow, or in the city, and the gene keys is transparency. And so really thinking this month as we move into the month, and of course we'll see what they have to say in the records, really thinking about how we can use our relationships. And this has been coming up for me a lot lately, is like using my relationships to support me, being more vulnerable in my communication with people, and leaning on each other, because we live in a wild world and we can't do this journey alone. And so September is really asking us to lean into our intimate relationships, to perhaps bring more intimacy to relationships we're not used to doing that with, and to really ask ourselves where we are being dishonest with ourselves, where we are being dishonest with others. This is our theme. As I was pulling cards, I usually do get messages as I shuffle them. So I heard the song Go Tell It on the Mountain. It's a Christmas song for those of you who are familiar. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ was born. And the energy that I got from that was this rebirth energy, because that song is about the birth of Jesus. And what was coming through as I was shuffling was using this month, and it's very fitting for with we have a lunar eclipse coming up in a couple days. It is eclipse season. How can we be reborn this month? Asking rebirth, asking for some rebirth energy to come in. 30 days to be reborn, take action as needed, but there's no need to force. It really feels like this rebirth is going to come naturally for us when we move in alignment with ourselves, when we lean into that intimacy. Perhaps there's some rebirth in our relationships because the 59 was pulled. So that is what I got for you. We are going to move into the Akashic reading to see the records can say. Usually these take about 15 minutes, give or take a few minutes. I don't put a timer on. We'll see where it takes us this time around. I'm excited. All right. I do channel with my eyes closed, so if you're on live and you have any questions, just know that I won't see it until after. And for those of you watching the replay, I channel with my eyes closed in case you haven't seen me do this before. All right, the Akashic Records for the collective consciousness are now open. Calling in all of the collectives, all the angels, guides, ancestors, and anyone else who wants to be present in this reading for our highest, truest, and gentlest good only, please. I am curious to hear about the creative energies for September 2025 records. What can you share with us? Knowing that this is specifically for September 2025, but also if somebody happens across this in 5 years, 2 months, that there might be something in them in this message for them if they feel called to read it or to read it, to listen to it, to engage with it in whatever way possible. It does feel like what's coming through is a sigh of relief. It feels like this, and I felt it, and then I breathed out as I was feeling it. So this sigh of relief is coming through. This year has been a lot for a lot of people. 2025 has brought up a lot for many people in the collective as a whole. If we're looking at a global scale, just looking at the things going on in the world, um, as well as personally. There's a lot of release energy that this year is bringing. It is a 9 year in numerology. It is the year of the snake in the Chinese year. So there's a lot of shedding energy, and people have been feeling that in one way or another, whether that be with health problems, whether that be with personal issues, family issues, finances. There's so many different ways that this shedding energy could be showing up for you. And there is the sigh of relief is coming through for September, kind of touching on the rebirth that Britta spoke about earlier. This year has felt like a slog for a lot of you. It's felt like there's been a lot of setbacks. You may have found growth, and you may have, there's been things that have been good, but then there's also the setbacks that many of you weren't anticipating. And that is all part of the design of this year. It is all here to help you learn and grow. But know that there is a lot of expansion energy on offer this month. There's also a lot of relaxation energy on offer this month. Um, you don't need to keep trying so freaking hard. And that's where a lot of you have been over the past number of months, is this like feeling that you need to keep trying in whatever way this resonates for you. And if it doesn't resonate for you, know that it's probably resonating for your neighbor. And if it doesn't resonate for you personally, you've certainly seen it happening in the news. If you watch the news, you've been seeing this energy in other areas of the world if you're not seeing it personally. But there's been a lot of heavy energy this year, and September is offering a sigh, a moment to relax, not to just sit down and do nothing. This isn't a month to sit down and do nothing, but it is a month to know that things are working. Even when it felt like they weren't working earlier this year, things have always been working, and many of you are going to start to see the fruits of that this month. You are in the middle of a potent eclipse season, and that is supporting you and kind of like releasing the grip a little bit. Um, but what you need to know is it's all working. And even when it didn't feel like it was working, it was still working, because these things that feel like blocks and these things that feel like they're holding you back are actually an invitation for you to stop and pause and freaking grow. And many of you have been doing that. So there is relief energy coming in this month. There is relief energy coming in this month. What that looks like for you is going to depend on your specific circumstances. And we will say that if you are someone that is is wanting to keep pushing, if you are someone who is wanting to keep trying, it's not going to work so well. There has to be an element of release and surrender that you as an individual are willing to allow in if you want to let this relief in. The relief cannot come if you are pushing and shoving against life. And this is a lesson that many of you have been learning over the past, I want to say 5 years or so, in some capacity. Some of you are, the timelines are going to differ for you depending on your personal circumstances, but like we're getting like 5 years, 10 for some of you. But really, the collective consciousness has been leaning into this energy of working smarter, not harder, and being really mindful with the way you're using your time, and that you don't have to constantly be doing to bring success. So there's a lot of relief energy on offer this month, and yet it's only going to come to you if you allow it, if you are in the mode of surrender. Because if you are someone who is still in that mode of trying, you're probably going to end up running into more challenges. So it's on offer. It's here for you. We want you to take it. And yet the way that this energy works is it can only reach you if you're ready for it. And it can only reach you if you are in a state of accepting that it is here. It's already here. And many of you have been seeing this coming into your reality in different forms over the past, like it's kind of started, we want to say around mid-August for most of you in some capacity. Those of you who are experiencing this energy in your personal lives, like we said, it might not. If it's not in your personal life, it's probably in your neighbor's life. And if it's not in your personal life, well, look what's going on in the world. It's very clear that there's been a lot of energy that feels really stuck or just like weird. So will you be reborn? Will you be reborn this month? Will you be reborn? Because yes, the energy is on offer, but you cannot you can't just expect it to come to you. You have to be ready for it. And we sense that many of you who are tuning into this are ready for it. If you are into the world where you're actually listening to these energy updates, you are somebody who is really in tune, who is curious, who's probably already been doing the work that we the work to become more yourself in this world, the shadow work, as you often call it on your earth plane. And intimacy is a part of it. The card that Britta drew, the 59, it's the intimacy with yourself, to be really honest with yourself about what you're ready to let in. Because if you're not ready to surrender and let it in, then it's not going to come. But there's also the invitation to let others support you too, because you do not the word, I can't remember what it's called. I heard it. This is Britta. I heard it on a podcast the other day. It's like Ubuntu. It's African. It's like you're a person through other people. That's what makes you a person. And I think it's Ubuntu. But this is that's coming through right now as I'm talking about this 59 energy, is lean into your support systems, lean into your people, be honest with yourself about what you can do for yourself, and ask for help if necessary. Be vulnerable. Allow people to really, really see you. There's a certain subsect of this collective, particularly the people who are watching this, who feel like it's very rare for people to actually see them. And yes, there are things at play that might support in that feeling. Through the language of human design, you might be a reflector, Brit is a reflector, and you might feel like, oh, I'm always the mirror. You might be a fifth line. You might think, oh, I'm always the projection, like people are always projecting things onto me. So there are things that, you can, these tools that many of you who are watching this are into, who you can see why people don't always see you because of something in your human design. And yes, there's that. Those are very real constraints. And yet, where if that language resonates with you, we also invite you to step beyond that and to really trust that when you are honest with yourself about what you need, you are going to attract the people who want to support you and who do see you for who you are, regardless of what these systems say. And we're not dismissing the systems because we recognize that there is value in them, and we encourage you to use them if you resonate. But sometimes some of you who are watching this, especially if you're in the personal development space, and if you are watching this, you probably are, because why else? Where you like students and the type of people that Brent attracts. Really be very conscious about the language you're using to describe yourself, and be very conscious of how your language might be holding you back from really deep connection. Because regardless of who you are, regardless of what your human design looks like, regardless of, I'm this or I'm that, there's always going to be people out there who truly do see you for who you are. It does not matter. It does not matter what it says in your chart. It does not matter. There are people on this earth who are meant to see you for who you are. And this is the month to let those people in. And some of you might be like, I don't have any of those people. I don't know them. We invite you to really rethink that. Really look at your surroundings. Really look at the people in your community. This could be in person. It could also be online. Many of you who are watching this have active online communities. You might be disregarding the person who is going to truly see you because of fear, because of a lack of trust in yourself. Because, intimacy comes from within first, and you have to trust yourself to find to seek out the people that will be for you. Every single person on this earth has people that will see them. And you probably haven't met all of them yet, because that's part of the journey of life, is meeting those people along the way. But we challenge you this month, dear ones, we challenge you to seek out 1 to 2 people who are already in your life. The majority of you watching this have at least one person already. And let them see you for who you truly are. Allow them in. When it feels aligned, of course. We're not asking you to do anything that doesn't feel right. But the energy of this month is very, very supportive for deep connection. It's very, very supportive for rebirth energy to come in. And the two really do go hand in hand. The more that you can allow in really deep, authentic connections into your life, even if it's just one person. I'm hearing, like, for someone, like, it's like, even if it's like your dog, like, because we can have those types of relationships with animals too. The encouragement is to find that deep connection with humans, but we also don't want to take for granted the beautiful relationships that we can have with animals. And so if you have an animal in your life that you could you could do this with. Like you can do it with animals too. But it's really about rebirth through intimacy. It's really about rebirth through intimacy. It's really about opening yourself up to in new ways. Maybe it's to someone you already are very connected with, but you like want to go like to another level with them. Or maybe it's someone completely new. But you humans are humans. The people you are with and the people you surround yourself really do make up who you are. And when you lean into those connections this month, you will find a lot of beautiful opportunities. And this goes for everyone who's watching this at a personal level. Like we said, if it doesn't resonate with you personally, there's somebody in your life who will. But we also encourage you to watch at the global level as well. If that feels called to you, some of you try. There's a lot of you in this group of people who are watching who do try to monitor your news intake because there is a lot of stuff out there that is unsavory that you don't want to let into your system, and we respect that. But if you feel called to be watching like how relationships are playing out at the global level, you may be surprised to see how um, things shift due to the way that global figures are interacting with each other. For better or for worse, because not everybody is functioning at a high level of consciousness in this collective, like in the collective consciousness. Um, and so that means you may also see kind of a flaring in some of the lower levels of a 59. You might see more dishonesty at play in the global sphere. We don't say that to scare you. We say it to be quite honest. We're going into intimacy. Let's be honest here. Um, this energy is on offer, and many of you in this collective are doing your best. Many of you who are watching this in the collective who are part of the collective consciousness are doing your best to function at the highest levels. You are doing your best to function at the highest levels of consciousness that you can function at, because that is how we heal the world, is when we bring our highest levels of ourselves and in turn heal others. However, you may notice some of the lower frequencies of this energy flare up this month in the global news. And the invitation here is to remember that it's all part of the expansion of consciousness. That sometimes as a humanity, it looks like things are contracting at a global level, but it is through that contraction that um, we really start to see what really matters. And it's where people start to speak up and where change comes. The power to the people, when we see those lower levels of consciousness, in this case the lower level of the 59, play out globally, well, that contrast is where we find what matters most to us. And we invite you to take that to heart, because it is in the breaking or the perceived breaking of things where rebirth comes. And so there is huge, huge energy for rebirth. There is huge, huge energy for great intimate connection, both personally and globally. Though, do not be surprised if you see some of the lower levels of the 59 energy flare up. The dishonesty, the lack of connection. Because you are in a critical period of humanity, and many of you already know this. You are in a critical period of humanity where things need to break down to be reborn. Always drawn to the throat when I cough, and so that is just a reminder to speak your truth. That has been a huge theme coming through these readings for the past 4 months, 5 months. I can't remember. Um, for the past number of months, there has been a theme of speaking your truth, and that stands now. Because how can you be intimate with someone, anyone, even your dog, even yourself, if you're not speaking your truth? The throat chakra energy does feel a lot less intense than it did in previous months. So I'm sensing that collectively we've been working through a lot of that energy. And what's coming through is like, this is the month where you've done the work. Now it's time to shine. It's time to use your voice, to be seen, to really have those intimate moments with people that will help you be reborn. Oh, this is such an exciting, exciting month. We cannot wait to see how it plays out for all of you. Um, we're always excited to bring these messages to you, and yet this month feels particularly potent. There is so much rebirth energy on offer this month. Many of you many of you watching this, not all of you, but many of you watching this are going to be completely different people at the end of this month, whether that is in the location that you're currently in, whether that's in the work you do out in the world. There's massive shifts in personal direction going on here, or whether that's just an internal shift about how you see yourself. There's many different ways this is going to play out because, of course, this is the collective consciousness, and we are channeling for billions of people, like the energies of billions of people. Though, don't be surprised if you're not in a completely different location, if you're not doing something completely different with your life in terms of like the way you bring in your money, your security, if there isn't some sort of new relationship that comes in for you, because there is that on offer too, whether that's platonic or romantic, um, even if you don't see any external changes, and many of you will, so many of you are just going to feel different at the end of this month. And that it's in itself will feel like a refresh, like a rebirth, like a breath of fresh air. So let's all take a collective inhale. A collective exhale. And let's get this party started. Allowing the rebirth. It can only come to you if you are ready to allow it in. It's coming. Much love. All right. The Akashic Records are now closed. If you are watching this on the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope it resonated. If you want to leave a comment for me, let me know how it resonated. I'd love to hear from you. Those of us who are present, let's continue on with the call.